Some small business owners have had enough. Joining me now is Tom Kakadelis, owner of Charlotte, North Carolina-based Outland Cigars, who says the FDA is threatening his ability to stay in business with their new regulations. Also joining me is Liz Harrington of the Washington Free Beacon to discuss the policies and just how far-reaching they are. Thank you both so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Tom, you're a business owner. Give me some insight. How were these new regulations? I'm trying to understand why they even need these new regulations. How is this going to affect you?
Well, thank you for having me, Dana. The regulations affect small business because mostly it comes down to money. The regulations are going to require manufacturers to submit their cigar profile, the tobacco blend, because it's all proprietary. For each cigar that gets regulated, and they're going to have to pay between $20,000 and $50,000 per size of the cigar. So if the cigar blend comes out in, say, 7 sizes, they'll have to pay upwards of $350,000, maybe even $500,000 just to get approval from the FDA and wait 2 years.
And I'm sure you, as a small business owner, a 1%er, you just have all the budget for that in the world, don't you, Tom?
Sure, because what happens, as you know, they pass all of those costs back down to the retailer, and then the customer has to pay for it.
Yeah, people like myself, who every now and then I enjoy a nice cigar. People like myself, they'll price me and so many other individuals out of the market. Liz, these regulations, it's almost, sometimes I get the distinct feeling that we just have government workers in bureaucracies like this. They just sit around and they come up with the new ways. There's not a law for this. We must come up with something like this. What good does this regulation, what benefit does this provide to the public?
Well, it
really what this is...
Go ahead, Liz.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Really what this is the FDA is trying to change a 2009 tobacco control law to expand the definition of what a tobacco product is. And simply the FDA would deem products like cigars and electronic cigarettes as a tobacco product, which would put it under its authority to regulate. And really what I believe this is the FDA has been wanting to regulate electronic cigarettes. They've been anti-electronic cigarettes for some time, and this gives them an opportunity to not only put health warnings, make the companies have pre-approval for electronic cigarettes and cigars, and to make money off them at the same time. This gives them the opportunity to finally get that regulatory power.
What's the problem, Elizabeth Harrington, what's the problem with, why are they so against e-cigarettes? I mean, I thought that this was a really great cessation method. This is something that, you know, I've seen it, they've been marketed as almost healthier. It just seems unlikely for the party that pushes marijuana legalization that they would want to come up with regulations against this. What's the insight into that?
Well, really, it's a Democrat crusade against electronic cigarettes. They don't think they're safe, even though there's really no evidence yet that they are unhealthy.
Right.
And like you said, they're a very popular cessation method. And really, the FDA, for some reason, will put a lot of money into anti-smoking cessation methods, but they ignore electronic cigarettes, and they really are out, you know, to really just regulate them and ultimately ban them. You've already seen them proposing to ban them in airports, on airplanes, and really it's just another, this regulation gives them the future authority once it's labeled as a tobacco product, which, by the way, electronic cigarettes do not contain any tobacco in them. This will give them the power to regulate them even more in the future once they have that power.
Tom, last question for you. 30% of the box is supposed to have some sort of smoking can be harmful warning label. These are like the Ralph Lauren polo logos. They just keep getting bigger and bigger every year. These warnings on these boxes are getting bigger and bigger. It's 2014. I think we kind of know. Adults can make the decision as to whether or not they want to purchase and smoke a cigar. Your thoughts on that? Again, it just seems petty.
Well, it is, and it's just another way of saying that the old-fashioned idea, which is just impossible to accomplish, is to prevent death. And when there's a free society and people have the opportunity to enjoy a fine cigar, they're hoping that by regulating it and over-regulating it, that they will prevent the possible death from something that's done, and it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Tom, Elizabeth, thank you both so much for your time today. We appreciate it.